show here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah? Yeah! Movie toast.
What's up, Toasties? Movie Toaster Adam here. I saw over 217 movies at the theater this previous year in 2025. So I've compiled my favorite 25 movies of the previous year. And normally it's kind of hard, like picking and getting enough movies to fill this list. But this year there were so many, a bunch didn't even make the cut. It's just been a really good year for movies. Now, I'll tell you, my list is probably going to be different from a whole bunch of other cats' lists, all right? Like, movies like One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, and all these, like, high-value, Oscar baity type movies that are pretty much at the top of most people's lists aren't really that high on my list, to be honest with you. But some movies may have peeked through here. I'm trying to give you movies that you may never have heard of, possibly, or movies that might have skipped your radar because you weren't really paying attention to the smaller things, or things that you thought might have been goofy. But either way, I got a couple of movies to talk about. But before all of that, let me just tell you, I host a podcast with my buddy where we talk about entertainment news, pop culture polls, we review new movies, old movies, retro movies, movies that aren't even out yet, and so much more. We put out a podcast every other week. It's called Movie Toast News and Reviews. So please come check us out. We're on all the socials. We got 2 Facebooks, an X, an Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Kick, YouTube, and so much more. All right? But with no further delay, let's get into the top 25 movies of 2025, in my opinion. All right, so up first, we're going to go with some honorable mentions here, okay? So, let's see what I got. Dangerous Animals. This movie is one hell of a thrill ride, all right? It's about a young surfer who's out in Australia. She's by herself, and this psychopath captures her and just wants to torture her, and she's got to find a way to survive. All right, now, it sounds like, oh yeah, this type of movie has been done a million times before. Maybe, but not to this extent, in my opinion. All right, because the level of acting here is just top notch. And it just looks beautiful. Seeing the Gold Coast on the big screen like that, top notch stuff right there. Jai Courtney is our lead, and the lead actress is from that show Tacoma FD, Cassie something. She's on, I want to say, like one of the Yellowstone spinoffs. It doesn't matter. It's a great movie. Check it out. I think it's over on AMC Plus right now. Might be on Hulu by now, possibly. All right, next honorable mention here is Anniversary. This movie is a twisted look at America and just where the political landscape can go. And it shows how politics can divide a family and essentially ruin a good dynamic. Really good stuff. Great performances all around. A stellar cast. So it's definitely worth seeing. I think this is over on Prime Video right now. Okay. The Luckiest Man in America. This is based on a wild true story, all right? There's a guy who learned all of the secrets of Press Your Luck. He learned how to hit the button at the right time to get just the right amount of money. And he goes on one of the biggest winning streaks in television history, and the studio wants to shut him down. Everyone's wondering how he's doing it, and he's just trying to do this because he knows his daughter watches the show, and he wants to prove to his ex-wife that he's a good man. It doesn't sound like it should be a thrill ride, but you'll be on the edge of your seat the whole time. All right, this movie is stellar, folks. All right, Rental Family. All right, this movie is pretty dang good. It's heartwarming, it's funny, it's sad. There's so much going on here, and Brendan Fraser is just knocking it out of the park. And the supporting cast is pretty rad, too. Yeah, so this one might still be in theaters. Highly suggest checking this one out. All right, Ash. Okay, this movie is creepy. It's fun. It's about a person who wakes up on like a space command base, and all her fellow astronaut type researchers are dead, and she's the only one alive. She's wounded. She doesn't know what happened. She can't remember a single thing. And then a guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to help you," but something seems off and she doesn't know if she can trust him. Really eerie, creepy stuff with a stellar score and fantastic performances all around. Ash, I think, is also on AMC Plus. They got a lot of stuff here that most people haven't seen, but I saw this on the big screen and it looks stellar. It was an indie movie, and you can tell that they really stretched the dollar in a big bad way, which was pretty darn awesome. All right, Are We Good? This is a documentary about Mark Maron. It essentially follows him before COVID and then after COVID, and we're seeing him during COVID and dealing with the loss of his late girlfriend, Lynn Ramsey, and just how he has to reacclimate himself to the world and show people that he's okay and that he's vulnerable. And we're getting a real interesting look at just what it takes to be a traveling comedian. It's really an in-depth documentary. But if you did listen to WTF with Mark Maron, you'll know a lot of the stuff here, but it's still, you're seeing so much. This is like an unfiltered, all-access documentary that is just freaking awesome. All right. September 5. This is another movie that's based on true life events. This is about a terrorist attack that happens inside an Olympic housing area, and pulse pounding. It's about this sports company, studio, ABC Sports, I think it is. They're supposed to be broadcasting like a late night Olympic event. Nobody really cares. It's a sleepy time. But then when this like hostage situation takes place, they're the closest to the situation, and they essentially break news live, and that's never been done before. It's a period piece. There's only a few people in here who I recognize, but fantastic performances. It looks stellar, and it's a riveting story. I honestly didn't know anything about this true life story, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. All right, Together. This movie just hit, I want to say, Hulu and Disney Plus, maybe even HBO. I don't know. But this is a real life couple here. Allison Brie and Dave Franco, and they play this couple who's kind of in a rut. They move to this secluded cabin, and there's some weird stuff happening, and their bodies start kind of morphing into each other, and they got to kind of keep themselves apart. It's a really interesting, very sexual movie with some really creepy things, great prosthetics, and just a chilling movie, and great to see a married couple playing a couple. Good stuff here, folks. All right, The Life of Chuck. I know a lot of people hated this movie. This is a Stephen King adaptation, but it's not scary. It's a mystery. It's kind of about the end of the world, and there's this figure, Chuck, who's kind of blasted out in front of everyone. And then we kind of see Chuck as a kid. We see Chuck as a man. We see Chuck in different points of his life. Star-studded cast, really great performances, really touching and heartwarming. This might be my favorite Mike Flanagan movie. Like, I'm not a big Mike Flanagan fan, but this one, stellar. All right. Zootopia 2. Zootopia might have been one of my favorite Disney films of the last 15 years. And I thought, I don't know, this one could go either way. But, dude, this one was top notch. They might have outdone themselves. The charm and the wit, the charisma, and there's some great new characters here who you're going to love. Even if you're not a kid, I'm not a kid and I loved it. Even if you don't have kids, check this one out. It's great. You won't regret it. All right. Now we're getting out of the honorable mentions. 25 here, folks. What is my 25th pick of the 2025 movie season? Paddington in Peru. Okay. Now, Paddington, fantastic little heartwarming film. Paddington 2, delightful Wes Anderson kind of movie. Paddington 3 is equally as good as the first movie, not as good as the second movie. But we're seeing Paddington back in the jungle. A domesticated bear going to the jungle and trying to survive and trying to be a gentleman. It's really interesting. It's weird because they got rid of Sally Hawkins. She wanted to be in Bring Me Back, and they replaced her with, I'm forgetting who they replaced her with, but it's weird. The mom is different, but everyone else, we're getting a lot of returning characters. It's heartwarming. It's sad. And there's a lot more bears in this movie, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, Paddington in Peru, definitely worth checking out. All right, what's my 24th pick of 2025? Well, folks, that's a little movie I like to call Companion. All right, now, this movie, I feel like marketing gave away the twist. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to give it away. But it's about a getaway with three couples, and something terrible happens. And we find out someone's been framed for it. And there's a lot of twists and turns. It's kind of like a Black Mirror episode. And it's just really effective and great performances. Awesome cast. Definitely worth seeing, in my opinion. All right. My 20, what are we at? 23rd movie here. All right. Movie 23. What's that going to be? No Other Choice. Park Chan-wook's latest movie. This movie, wow, the trailer is dazzling, but it makes it look like it's going to be a dark, dangerous, old boy style movie. But it's not. It's kind of a comedy. It's about a guy who loses his job that he's done for years. He was kind of in the upper echelon, and then he has to kind of give everything up. He kind of feels like a burden to his family, and he decides he wants to take out any competition for any future jobs. So he kind of goes out and kills people. And of course, it's not that simple. It's dark, it's twisted, it's shot perfectly. It stars the main villain from Squid Game, and he's awesome in this. But the wife in this movie, she is a steam sailor. This movie is in limited release right now, but it's going to be wider, I think, next week. Go and see it. This movie is freaking awesome. All right, 22. What is my 22nd pick? All right, well, that's a simple one, folks. It's Nuremberg. All right, this movie I had no interest in seeing. I thought it was going to be lame and dull and just political drama, courtroom type movie. But I got to tell you, this movie was fascinating as hell. Like, it's about a psychiatrist who is brought in because all these people who were essentially killing Jewish people for Hitler after the war ended, they're now on trial, and the government wants to make sure they're of right and will and mind. And so they bring this doctor in to kind of get to know everybody and make sure everything's good. But he kind of forms a friendship with the fucking deadliest man guy who's just, so evil. But yet somehow he's kind of charming. And you're like, oh, maybe I do trust him. But it's like, no, I can't trust him. Oh, man, this movie has a great cast. Every movie I'm talking about has a pretty great cast, but this one is star-studded. I will say there's some pretty gruesome stuff we see in the courtroom trial. We see actual concentration camps and people dying and horrific stuff, but it just shows the impact of what really happened, and I cried, man. This movie was a tearjerker, and I was just loving every single second of it. All right, so up next we have my 21st pick, Twinless. Okay, so this one I didn't know too much about. Dylan O'Brien plays a twin, and his twin dies. And then he goes to this twin support group, and he meets a guy who also was a twin of a dead twin, and the two kind of hit it off. But something doesn't seem right. There's some dark stuff happening here. There's some twists and turns, really riveting stuff, and it's like a very low budget indie, but it's so effective, and took me by surprise at how freaking stellar this one was. All right, up next is my 20th pick here. All right, so for my 20th pick, we have a little movie I like to call Eden. Another controversial pick. This is a Ron Howard movie that flopped so freaking bad. All right, it's about real life events. This doctor and his wife go off to this abandoned island, live this life of luxury, and then a family who's poor goes there to kind of get the help of the doctor, but the doctor doesn't want to help them. And they're like, fine, we'll still live here and do our thing. And then a rich woman comes into town and fucks everything up. And by town, I mean this small island with only the doctor and his wife and this family. But by God, everyone is put through the ringer on this movie. character-wise, that is. So it's like your cast. Just look at these folks here. It's like Ana de Amas, um, Vanessa Kirby, homeboy from fucking Captain America's Civil War, Dr. Watson, Euphoria girl. I'm terrible with names right now, folks. I'm sorry. Sydney Sweeney. Baron Zemo is the character from. It doesn't matter. Either way, this movie was really interesting because this is based on a real life event, and like you're watching as people are driven to madness on an island, and it's like, what the fuck? Why don't these people leave? This is terrible. This is gut wrenching stuff, and if you're a fan of like shows like Big Brother, I haven't seen it since like it first came out. This is like the prototype Big Brother, but on a real life dangerous scale. Eden, a lot of people hated it, but I think you should check it out because it's a really fun one. All right, 19. What is my 19th film? You're probably wondering. Well, that's a simple one here, folks. Hard Eyes. Okay, this movie is a horror movie. It's a meta movie. It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy. It takes all the tropes of essentially a horror movie and a rom-com and mixes them so perfectly. It's a fine line it walks. It's gory, it's brutal, it's intense, and it's just one fun fucking movie. Okay, so I think this one's over on Netflix, possibly. Definitely worth checking out if you're a rom-com fan, if you're a meta movie fan, if you're a horror movie fan, or if you just want to see something original and just kind of one of a kind. All right, 18. Okay, here we go. I have Pools. Oh boy, this movie is freaking crazy. It's about kind of this Van Wilder type slacker, free-spirited girl who's overstayed her welcome at her college, and she's going through the motion, and it's the hottest day, and the AC's out in her dorm, and she wants to go to a pool, and she takes all these ragtag people that are still around, and they go at night under the sky, the dark moonlit sky, and they go pool hopping all around town, and they break into a house. It's kind of like a mumblecore movie, and it's subtle and just so intimate. Like, I really knew nothing about this movie going in, and it just really was interesting watching a character kind of come to terms with certain things and other characters opening up and just finding themselves and watching as people make mistakes and also find new friends. It's really cool. It's one of a kind movie that I feel like most people don't even know exists. So I definitely would say please check out Pools if you get the chance. All right, 17 here. All right, what do we get for 17, folks? The Legend of Ochi. This is an A24 movie, but it's not horror. It's not a thriller. This is a kid's movie. It's in the vein of like an 80s Amblin-esque movie. And it is just wild. It has practical effects. It's about this little creature that is being hunted down, and this little girl wants to save it because it's injured, and she's on the run from her father, who is essentially a monster killer, and her brother, who's trying to be a man like her dad. It has Finn Wolfhard as the brother. It has Willem Dafoe as the dad. Very kooky. Feels like an 80s vibe. And the girl I've never seen before. She's kind of good. But this character is just so cute and heartwarming. The Legend of Ochi took me by surprise and just tugged at my heartstrings because there's some beautiful things happening here and some scary things at the same time. But it's kind of cool. If you like throwback movies, this is definitely one. It's a fun score. The cinematography is gorgeous. I loved every second of The Legend of Ochi. All right, up next is my 16th pick here. So that's going to be a little movie I like to call Magazine Dreams. All right, so this movie was supposed to come out, I want to say in 2023 or 2024, but it was shelved because of all the Jonathan Major things. And we thought we were never going to get to see it. And then it actually came out, but nobody went to see it. I saw it. And I didn't know what I was in for. It's about a guy who wants to be a bodybuilder. He has some mental disabilities and anger issues. And it shows how hard it is for someone to fit in. They're trying to be normal. They want to be the best bodybuilder ever. Jonathan Majors is giving an awards level performance, and I wish he was up for an Oscar, Emmy, or any award this season because he played this character with such fine finesse. His diction, his way of walking, talking, his diction, just everything, mannerisms, stutters. This was crazy, and it just ramped up, higher and higher and higher. And it was like, how is this movie going to end? I hope it's not gonna go the way I thought it would go. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this movie was powerful. Like really, really cool stuff here. Like chilling, sad, not really upbeat. It's a downer of a movie. It's gonna put you in a weird headspace, but it's a headspace you should be in every now and again when watching a movie, because movies should kind of challenge you, I think. All right, so next up, I have my 15th favorite film of 2025, and that's Bring Her Back. All right, this movie is done by the guys who did that movie about the hand. I was going to say Let Me In, but that's not right. The Hand That Possesses People, Australia. It doesn't matter. So essentially, there is a brother and sister, and the sister's blind, and the brother's kind of a renegade bad boy, and the dad dies, and the sister is brought to live with this woman who recently lost her daughter, and she has another young boy that she's watching over. And the older brother wants to be with his sister to take care of her, but Child Protective Services says he can't do anything till he's 18, and he'll be 18 in a couple of weeks. And he goes to live with the woman to make sure his sister's all right. And some weird, creepy, airy stuff happens, and it just takes a lot of twists, a lot of turns, left-hand turns. It's a dark and gritty kind of vibe with chilling performances, and it'll just leave you questioning what you just watched. Like, Bring Her Back, I want to say is on Max. If you haven't seen it, I highly, highly suggest you go and check it out, because it is a freaking dark movie with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Like I said, Sally Hawkins was the mother in the first two Paddington movies. She left that to go do this, and I've never seen her like this before, man. I've seen her fuck like fish monsters, but being this unhinged woman taking care of kids, it's another level. All right, 14. We're at 14. We're about halfway done. I don't know how to do math. Watch the Skies or UFO Sweden. It all depends where you're looking, but I saw it as Watch the Skies. This is a Swedish movie about a girl who kind of grew up an outcast. Her dad was like a part of this Swedish UFO investigation club, and it took over his life. And one night he went out to investigate a UFO and never came back. His daughter resented him, but then she thought, oh wow, maybe my dad wasn't crazy. Maybe UFOs are real. Maybe he got abducted. I'm going to go to the group and try to find out what happened. And the group doesn't want her there. But some people let her in, and they uncover some crazy stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this one is it was a Swedish movie, spoken in Swedish, but they used AI technology to move the mouths and manipulate it. But they brought in the original cast to speak in English to do the dub and just use AI to move the mouths. Some scenes you can notice, some scenes you can't. It's really interesting. But this is a very low-budge indie movie that's visually interesting. It's a period piece movie. It's a little long, but it's really fun. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a vibe that you gotta be there for. Like, if you like sci-fi things, this is a pretty good sci-fi movie. It's not scary. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's something else. Watch the Skies, UFO Sweden. Look it up. I don't know where it's streaming, but it is worth a watch. All right, 13. All right, my 13th pick is a little movie I like to call Bone Lake. When I saw the trailer for Bone Lake, I'm like, oh, slocky piece of garbage horror movie. But I see everything because I feel like everything deserves a chance, a shot. So I went into this. Essentially, it's about a couple who's going away for a romantic weekend. The guy wants to propose to his girlfriend, but turns out the place has been double booked, but it's a palatial mansion, and both parties seem kind of cool, so they say, hey, why don't we just kind of coexist here? Or if you want to hang out, we can hang out. If not, we can do our own thing, but it's such a big place, everything be fine. And then they start drinking and partying, and things get really messed up really fast. It gets dark, it gets sexual, it gets intense, it gets gritty. It's a game of cat and mouse. You don't know what to believe and what not to believe. And it looks interesting. It has nice, interesting visual style. The sets are rather fun, and the acting is cool. I don't know any of these actors, but it helps sell this movie even more because I don't know who they are. But they're that good at performing. And yeah, this movie was chilling and interesting and unique. And just like Hard Eyes, I feel like it's a niche movie that hasn't really been done before, and they execute this to a pretty great degree. I can't wait to see what the filmmakers of this do next, and the cast, because it's pretty cool. It's twisted, it's dark, it's spooky, it's gory. You're gonna want to check out Bone Lake, folks. All right, up next, my 12th pick here. All right, my 12th pick is a little movie called Chainsaw Man the Movie Res Arc. All right, now, I had no interest in this. I saw the premiere of Chainsaw Man, the anime, at New York Comic Con like 5 years ago, and I kind of fell asleep because it was a long con. And then my brother was coming to town visiting, and this movie came out, and he's like, hey, you want to go see it? I'm like, I don't really know it. But I'm like, screw it. I got some time. I'm going to power through the first season because this takes place in between the first and second season. So I'll give it a shot. Not going to lie. The anime, I didn't really care for. I thought it was fine, but just mediocre at best. But the movie, oh, dude, this movie's intense. And it looks so cinematic. Like, the colors, the art design, the direction, the action, the gore, the performances. I saw this with the Japanese, regular Japanese, and I saw it with the subtitles. And the Japanese performers really sold the shit out of this, man, with the grunts, the moans, everything. It was freaking awesome. Like, and I saw it in IMAX, and it was just a visual delight, a cornucopia of madness. And it made me a fan of Chainsaw Man. I will watch the second season when it comes out. This movie took me by surprise. I thought it was going to be an honorable mention, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, this should be in the middle. This is a really fun movie. So if you're a fan of the manga or the anime, I think you'll definitely dig this. And if you're not, give the anime a watch. If you're like me and you're lukewarm on it, go into this and you'll find a new appreciation for it. I know that's a weird thing to say, watch something and then watch something else to think that you're going to like it more. I know it makes no sense, but honestly, Chainsaw Man, the movie Res Arc, is definitely worth watching. All right, 11. We're getting there, folks. Fight or Flight. Dude, this movie came out, I want to say, like, February or March. Kind of a sleepy time for movies. Normally, you're going to get some duds. But I'm like, you know what? Josh Hartnett, he's a good performer. He's cool. Last movie I saw him in was freaking Shyamalan's movie about the butcher or whatnot. Trap. I think that's what it's called. And then he was on The Bear. I'm like, he's having a little resurgence. I'll see him with weird bleach blonde hair and doing a weird thing. So this is essentially like that train movie that Brad Pitt did, Bullet Train, I believe it is, but in the sky. So essentially, Josh Hartnett was burnt. He used to be like a federal agent, then he was burnt, and he's kind of a drunk living off in like Beijing or whatnot. And he gets a chance to come back home because the organization finds out that there is a cyber terrorist who is going to be on a plane leaving the airport that he's close to. And if he can go find that person and bring him to America, they'll wipe his slate clean and he can go home. And it turns out everyone on this plane is looking for the same person, and they're a bunch of assassins. The fights are intense. It's gory. It's funny. It's stylized. There's so many amazing set pieces in this movie, and Hartnett is just chewing up the scenery, having a blast, kicking ass, taking names. Oh man, Fight or Flight is freaking phenomenal. I think it might be on Paramount Plus now. Wherever it's playing, you gotta go check it out. It is wild, balls to the wall, bonkers insanity, but well worth a watch. Like, oh man, this movie stuck with me all year. Like, I couldn't get it out of my head. That's how good it is. All right, it's called Fight or Flight. All right, so number 10. All right, my 10th favorite movie of 2025. Here we go. It's a little movie I like to call Hamnet. All right, this just came out. Another movie I was not interested in. All right, it's a Chloe Zhao film. I'm not a big fan of hers. I've only seen Eternals, but all her other stuff looks a little quiet and boring and stale. And I'm like, this is a movie I think about dead kids and maybe somehow Shakespeare. I don't know. But like I said, I got to give every movie a shot. And I went in and I was hooked. These two leads, Buckley and what's his face? Holy fuck, they are good. The children actors in this movie, top notch. The set design, it looks like we're in period piece times. We're back in the day. The wardrobe is so good. The dialogue is gripping. The story is gripping. You don't know where it's going to go from scene to scene. There's twists and turns, revelation that happens midway through the movie, and it's like, holy heavens. This movie is insane. It's long. It's not, I was going to say tedious, because it wasn't tedious. I was like on the edge of my seat, enjoying it, eating it up. I was all about that. I could watch 4 more hours of this movie if it was that long. I wouldn't care. I would watch this movie till the cows come home. Like, this movie is really, really riveting and just so earnest and kind. And it had me bawling like a baby, man. I was crying a lot through this movie. Like, and it's visually stunning. Like, the cinematography is gorgeous. The score is beautiful. The performances are gut-wrenching. If these two aren't nominated, something's wrong with the Academy. Hamnet, definitely worth checking out. I think it might still be in theaters. Go and see it. You will not regret it. All right, up next, number 9. My 9th favorite movie of 2025 is a little movie called Bob Trevino Likes It. This is another one that came out earlier in the year, and I'm like, it looks a little slocky. It looks like it's going to be preachy, but I like John Leguizamo. He's cool. I'll give it a shot. Another movie, I was bawling like a baby. I don't know what it is, but it's really nice watching a movie and just letting your emotions wash over you. Like, it's about a girl who is kind of estranged from her dad, and she wants to befriend him online on Facebook, and she ends up liking someone or friending someone with their dad's name, but realizes this isn't my dad, but they form a strong bond. And we learn something about the Bob who's not her dad, and he's kind of there and takes over as her dad and kind of guides her through life, and they start this really beautiful friendship. Like, nothing is like, holy shit, it's beautiful looking, it's stellar, it's awards. No, it's just a quiet, character-driven drama with a little bit of comedy and a lot of heart. Like, the performances are golden, and it's just such a freaking heartwarming movie that I can't even put into words, man. It's stellar, and I think if you like kind of movies that are about like people going through some shit and overcoming it and learning a few things along the way, this could be for you. It's not preachy, it's not cheesy, it's just delightful. All right, so that was my number 9. So let's see what my 8th favorite movie of the year was. So it's a little movie called Regretting You. All right, so I like the cast here. The story. All right, so essentially there's a husband and wife and a daughter living an ideal life. Everything's good. The dad gets in a car accident when he's going to a work trip. And at that same time, the woman's sister is in a car accident and dies. And her brother-in-law is raising a baby that's his and hers without the wife. But it turns out, guess what? The husband and wife of each of these people, Well, they were having an affair. And these people got to decide whether they want to tell the daughter in the family because she looked up to her aunt. Her aunt was like a god. The dad was the best dad in the world. So it's kind of like hiding a big secret. And at the same time, the mother and the uncle were best friends. They kind of grew up together. And the uncle kind of always had a thing for the mom. And the mom kind of might have had a thing. So it's kind of like a will they, won't they. And at the same time, the daughter falls for a guy that has a girlfriend. And there's just all these triangles happening. And it's beautiful. It's crazy. This is like, I don't know, like kind of like a teen drama novel, but it's really good. Like, I thought this was going to be sappy and romantic, like a very cheesy Nicholas Sparks novel, but it was a stellar. Like, look at this cast. McKenna Grace, homeboy from How to Train Your Dragon and The Black Phone, Dave Franco, Allison Williams. These are stellar people here. All right? Like, you can't do better. I think this is on Paramount Plus. If you like rom-coms, if you like dramas, if you like great performances, this is the movie for you. Go and watch Regretting You. You won't regret it. All right. So we're now moving on to the 7th slot of 2025. My favorite film of 2025 in the 7th slot is a little movie called The Ballad of Wallace Island. Now, I went in blind not knowing anything about this movie. So essentially, there was this folk duo who were pretty famous, but they broke up. And they were actually a couple at one point, but they broke up. And then this guy who's really rich and lives on a almost secluded island invites one of them out to do a personal performance for him and stay the weekend. And also invites the other member of the band and kind of parent traps them together. And he hopes he can reunite his favorite band. And there's some heartwarming things happening here at the chagrin of the band because they want nothing to do with one another. But this guy is kind of lying to him, but also not lying to him. And it's like, do they want to work together? Do they still have a fling? Is there a spark there? But they can make fantastic music. Do they regret what happened in the past with them? It's just a really twisty, funny, dramatic, heartwarming, also sad movie. I think there's a theme here, and I like sad, dramatic comedies, kind of, I guess. But I feel like this went under a lot of people's radar. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. But I highly suggest checking out The Ballad of Wallace Island. It's a nice little character study piece that is just so god dang delightful. You got to see it. I can't say any more than you got to see it because I don't want to spoil anything. Great movie, fun music, all around delightful romp. All right, so up next, we're going to get to the 6th spot. My 6th favorite film of 2025 is a little movie called The Threesome. All right, so this is another dramatic, romantic comedy, rom-com, drom-com. Is that a thing? Let's call it a drom-com. So there's a three-way that happens, a threesome, and there's this really homey girl who never goes out, never really interacts with people, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll let my hair down. I'll have sex with this guy and this gal, and one thing leads to another, and that girl gets pregnant. But the guy falls for the other girl that he had the three-way with, and it turns out she also got pregnant. And then there's this weird love triangle, and there's some lies being told all around. He has to pretend to be the other one's girlfriend for the family that's really religious. It's funny. It's sappy. It's sad. It's really original. This is like a mumblecore movie to the max. It's really, 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 really good. Like, great performances. This whole cast is stellar. I feel like I'm saying the same thing for all these movies, but it's true. 30 movies that are just so fucking awesome. But this one is like very earnestly quiet. Like, it's not splashy. It's not sharp looking. It's just a fly on the wall watching as people's lives are unraveling and life is being brought into this world. There's questions of abortion. There's questions of of is unmarital sex right. So many things are brought into question here. It's a pretty fun time, and definitely worth checking out. I don't know where you can see it, but if you find it, watch it. Number 5. What is the old 5th spot in my list? You might be wondering. All right, so that's a little movie called Wick is Pain. All right, this is a documentary here, folks, about all things John Wick. Now, I wanted to see this when it was in theaters. This one is the only movie on the list I think that I didn't see in theaters because it wasn't playing anywhere near me. So essentially, it started off as an EPK for John Wick, but that never got put out, and it was going to be on like the whole John Wick DVD Blu-ray collection. But it's so good. They're chronicling from everything, the first John Wick to the last John Wick, talk about Ballerina, but there's so much more. Like, we're watching the inception of John Wick. We're watching as these men become fight choreographers, stunt doubles, moving up the rank. Well, I guess stunt doubles to fight choreographers to that second unit directing, meeting Keanu, coming up with this script, coming up with the story, trying to sell it, trying to get funding, getting it ripped away, getting funding in a different direction, creating this whole wild world and just making up their own rules, breaking the walls down, making a unique, one-of-a-kind action franchise, taking gambles and risks, watching as these two best friends split up and kind of resent one another and go off and do their different things because this movie drove a wedge between them. Watching as it drove a wedge between them and their wives. Watching as Keanu is just creating this character, having a renaissance for himself. You're watching Keanu and the director watch themselves talking about it. I've never seen Keanu Reeves this animated and this full of life and joyful and just gleeful and talking about how much he loves John Wick and the whole universe and how hard it is on him and the crew and the cast and just the lengths that they like this. If you're a fan of movies and you want to see what it takes to make a movie and how much madness goes into making a movie, this is a documentary you're going to want to see. Like, this will make you want to make movies or scare you away from ever wanting to think about making movies. It's a freaking awesome documentary. It's slightly long, but they're spanning 4 movies, some TV shows, the creation of a production company. So much is being done in this documentary. I'd watch more documentaries. I want this documentarian to do this for other franchises and other films because it is that freaking good. I loved it. I was glued to my TV watching this. I believe it's on Netflix right now. Go and see it. If you like John Wick, if you like the art of filmmaking, this is worth a watch. Okay, so that's Wick is Pain. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, folks. We're at number 4, a movie called Sorry Baby. Holy hell, this is a heavy, heavy movie. All right, now I might be biased here. They filmed this out here in Massachusetts. I know the production coordinator. I know a couple of people that worked on it. So I didn't know any of that going in. I just wanted to see this movie because, I don't know, the poster has a girl looking at this adorable kitten. But it's a really interesting look at how an event can change the course of someone's life. Someone who had a promising career is derailed because something heinous happened to them and how they're dealing with it and how their friends trying to pull them out of that funk. It's a very quiet, character-driven movie with just a lot of heart and a lot of soul and a lot of turmoil. It's really emotional and kind of just raw and visceral. Like, the performance all around, Naomi Ackie is great as a co-star here. I'm blanking on the star of the movie, but she's the writer-director, or they're the writer-director, and so fantastic. I can't wait to see what they do next, like acting, writing, directing, anything. I'm in it for the long haul with this filmmaker because this movie was so stellar. Like, words do not describe how freaking chilling it is because stuff like this happens in real life, but we never really see how people deal with tragic events and turmoil And this is a really raw look at that. And there's some hard things that you're gonna see and hear in this movie, but it's important, like to put a light and show that people have rough times, and you can't judge a book by their cover. Sorry, baby. I don't know where you can stream it, but this movie is beautiful and just gut wrenching, and I loved every second of it. Go and check Sorry, baby out. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So number 3 is a little movie called Opus. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I lost it. Opus. Okay. This movie is like an acid trip. It's like Willy Wonka for adults. It's like a dark and dreary movie. It's about this pop star who's been off the grid for years and years, and is now putting out a new record, and invites all these different people to come to his compound to do a listening party and get the first shot to hear the new music and get a one-on-one with them. And there's some dark, fucked up things happening here, and whew, I wasn't ready for it, man. It stars Ao Eden Bear, and she's great. John Malkovich, Juliette Lewis, Murray from fucking The Last of Us and White Lotus, and some other great performers. Like, it is just, oh man, A24 at its finest. Like, A24 is a hit or a miss in my book, but this is a direct hit, a bullseye. Definitely worth checking out. Like, it's on Max. The less you know about it, the better. I've said more than I should have said, I think, but it's visually stunning, practically done, just a really thought-provoking, rather unique and interesting film. I loved every second of Opus, 100%. All right, number 2. Whew, we're getting down to it, folks, here. Number 2 is a movie called a Minecraft movie, all right? Now, this one, oh boy, I don't even know where to begin here, because when I saw the trailer for this, I said, oh my God. Ugh. Let it be known, I'm a giant Tenacious D fan. One of the biggest fans of Tenacious D. Jack Black, I'll see anything. I worship the altar of Jack Black. But even for me, I'm like, this movie looks so freaking dumb. It looks like it's unrendered. It looks cheesy. It looks terrible. It's done by the guy that did Napoleon Dynamite. I don't like his style. I don't like his direction and his dry wit. Momoa's cool, but I don't know. And hey, is that the lady from Peacemaker? Okay. Oh, is that? All right, some familiar faces. Okay, cool. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh my God. This took me by surprise. I was delighted. I saw this movie 2 or 3 times in theaters. Yeah, I've never played a Minecraft game, but I loved a Minecraft movie. Like, it's unique. It's witty. It has a distinguishable, one-of-a-kind wit to it and charm, and everything is meticulously crafted and made. And, oh my goodness, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it's a kid's movie, but it hits hard for adults too, I think. Like, well, this adult it did. Yeah, man, I loved every second of it, and has some great music. Steve's Lava Chicken, great banger. Some other cool hits by Jables. Yeah, I'm shocked at how much. I thought this would maybe be an honorable mention, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, I saw this the most in theaters. I live with it in my head. I've listened to the music so many times. I got a miniature Jables toy from the movie. I got the big one. I went on a quest and finally found it. I'm all in for a Minecraft movie. I can't wait for a Minecraft movie too. Momoa was hilarious. Jables was great. The kids were awesome. The woman from Peacemaker was delightful. Dennis the dog was cool. The creatures were interesting. It was just one hell of a time, folks. All right, but the time is here to talk about my number 1 movie of 2025, my favoriteest film of the year. A movie that I feel like most people probably haven't seen or heard of. but if you take my advice, you should see it. It's on Max right now. A little movie called Freaky Tales. This is an anthology movie. It's set in Oakland back in the 80s. It deals with hitman, corrupt police people, basketball player, so much rappers. There's a lot going on here, and there's the craziest cameo I've ever seen. This is like a B movie, a grindhouse movie. I'm not normally an anthology film fan, but this movie was handcrafted for me and done by the people that did Captain Marvel, I think. And I didn't really care for that movie as much, but this movie I cared for a lot. I was down. I saw this in theater. I was blown away. I could not stop thinking about it. I watched it when it was on Max. I want to own it, but I don't think it physically exists. It has an every short interconnects with the other with all the other shorts. And they each have their own distinct style and vibe to it, and they look like different types of media. Like one looks like it's on film, one looks like a VHS, one looks like a laserdisc, one looks like this, one looks like that. It has this fun synthy score. You're seeing Nazis getting fucked up. You're seeing people fall in love. You're seeing gut-wrenching things happening left and right. Gore, stellar, crazy, insane gore, just wild madness. This movie is so ballsy and so unique and just so out there. And I'm so saddened because nobody's talking about this movie. And this movie is a golden film. This movie is so freaking awesome. Oh my God, I love everything about Freaky Tales. It has great music. It has great cameos. It has fantastic stars. It has its own unique, distinguishable stuff going on. And you can tell it's made with a lot of heart and a lot of soul and not a lot of money. But that's cool because it gives this punk rock vibe to it. Yeah, man, Freaky Tales is where it's at. If you want something so crazy and bonkers insane, this is the film for you. And it's quick. I think it's under an hour and 40 minutes, maybe. Like, you gotta give it a shot. If you like B movies, midnight movies, grindhouse movies, things of that sort, wild anthology films, this one is for you. And it's clearly for me because guess what, folks? Like I said, my number one movie of 2025 is this film, Freaky Tales. Oh, man. You gotta watch it. You won't regret it. You won't fall asleep. You'll be on the edge of your seat. People were cheering and losing their shit in my theater, man. People were all about this fucking movie. And I'm all about this fucking movie. So I don't know. That is my top 2025 films. My top 25 films of 2025. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like a lot of these movies you may have maybe heard of, but most of them maybe you haven't. Stuff that you've never would probably give a shot, but I'm hoping that maybe you'll give it a chance. Have you seen any of these movies? Do you agree with me on these? Do you disagree? What's your favorite 25 movies of 2025? What's your number one choice of movies in 2025? I want to know all about your takes of these films. I want to know what you're thinking, how you like it, how you feel about it. I don't know. I hope that you could find something new to watch here, and I'd love to hear what you guys all like. So yeah, like I said earlier, I host a podcast with my buddy called Movie Toast News and Reviews. We're on all the platforms. We're on all the social media networks. We're doing entertainment polls, pop culture news, movie reviews of obscured movies, old movies, classics, new releases, upcoming releases, TV shows. Sometimes there's daily videos going out on all the platforms. If there's a new movie that came out, I've most likely seen it and will review it. Might not be on the podcast proper, but it will be on our socials. Yeah, because I feel like every movie needs to be given a shot because you'll find some diamonds in the rough. So please give us a check, a watch. It's called Movie Toast News and Reviews. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. We like to close out our show by asking the audience to do one thing. And it's just a thing called staying toasty. So I'm going to end this by saying please. Oh, well, before I do that, let me tell you once again. Because I got to shell my stuff here, man. We got two Facebook accounts, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Kick, YouTube, all at movie_toast. Google Movie Toast News and Reviews, and you'll find us. We're everywhere because we want you to find out about good movies. We want to warn you about bad movies. We want to warn you about good movies. We want to put things on your radar. So please give us a view, give us a like and follow maybe. Let me know how you feel about this whole recap. I'd love to hear your take. If you agree, disagree, I'd love to talk to you all about it. All right, but like I said, please well, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate that the most. But please do yourself a favor and stay toasty.